Yeah. I can feel it. Yeah! Is that better?
It's good.
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
Hey.
My name is Drew.
And I'm Kat.
And this is Let's Party, Prayer, and Punk Rock.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, boy.
I know.
It's getting a little warm out here.
See, yes, sir.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. We're going to have to shift into the house here, I think.
I know. We need to build that studio.
Yeah, that would be great.
Oh, goodness.
Well, 10 years from now, you never know where we'll be.
That's true.
And,
in a studio.
Yeah. At least for your music, more than anything.
Sure.
Because you're drumming.
We can share it.
You can get like a workout and sweat like nuts. It's like a sauna drumming in the summer.
Well, that's out here.
Yeah. Drew's been, making some music here.
Oh, yeah, I'm trying.
In the last couple weeks. And
Me and my buddy.
Yeah. And then I've been doing, I'll work out while he's drumming. I've been doing my 100 push-up a day challenge, and all come on, baby, give me a beat. So that's been kind of fun.
Yeah.
What else been going on? So it was Mother's Day.
It was Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day to all the mamas.
Was that 2 weeks ago? No.
I
think so.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Close to it. It just happened.
These weeks are just flying by. It's ridiculous.
Last week, I think it was last week.
You know what we need to do first here before we talk about Mother's Day? Should we say a prayer here?
We should.
Before we start the show?
Yes.
It's kind of what we do, right?
That is what we do.
All right.
Did we do it? Did I do it or you do it last time?
I can't remember. I think you did.
Oh. Okay.
I think you did. But if you'd like to, you can. You're a better prayer than I am.
Oh, man. Be on the spot. Well, the Lord is the one who helps us out with that. Okay.
Well, that's right.
I'll pray. Sounds good.
All right.
All right.
Okay, here we go.
Heavenly Father, thank you so much for just the podcast, the marriage, life that has been blessed recently with the weather being warm and just kids almost out of school and lots of celebrations and lots of birthdays, all sorts of stuff coming up. And so I just ask that you are with us in these moments, that we feel you, that the listeners feel you in their storms and whatever's going on in their lives. Be with us and protect us. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Although you said bless us for the warm weather. I don't know.
The warm weather's good.
I don't like
it's
walking
good.
in the
It's
sun.
gentle. It's
No,
nice.
I know what you mean. I mean, it is better than the
have-
sun than the almost tornadoes we had here.
Yeah,
I'm
a little warm, but I don't like the rain and the crazy lightning.
You're right, for sure.
Hail.
I'd rather have it sunny and warm, but
Dude,
yeah,
the
I just
hail
don't like
here
the sun.
is out of control.
The what?
The hail.
Oh yeah.
The hailstorms they have. That is something I'm not used to. That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I just kind of recently found out that a lot of people put comforters and blankets over their cars, just in case.
Sense.
It's like, yo, dude, that's a great, because we don't really have the option with our driveway. We don't have a covering.
California, we don't have
trees.
hailstorms.
Oh yeah, if you did, it was rare.
I'm sure they have them in Illinois where I grew up, but I wasn't driving, so I didn't care.
They would have some in California, out in the desert, but that's desert though.
Right.
That's the Death Valley stuff.
There, unless I was raving.
What's what?
Unless I was raving. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, go out into the desert.
Yeah.
That's
Lord have mercy.
Ocotillo Wells.
Gosh, I'm so glad there was no social media in my 20s.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh, dodged a bullet with that one.
So anyway, Mother's Day.
So Mother's Day. Mine was beautiful. Thank you, Drew.
Oh, of course. Well, every day is Mother's Day in our house.
I mean,
it's like Valentine's Day. Every day is Valentine's Day.
Hey, you leave me a lot of love notes. That makes
I've been doing better.
I know you have.
Yeah.
Yeah, my car on the mirror. I'm shocked. I'm like, what? Oh, didn't even. I love it. I'm best part of my day. Yeah, take notes.
No.
Leave a note. Take notes. Leave a note.
No, it's funny. We brought up Mother's Day because, of course, thank you to all the mothers out there.
Yeah,
of course.
tough work.
Obviously wouldn't be here without you.
Absolutely.
But we also brought it up because it was kind of funny. There was a little list that they'd gathered about most influential TV moms.
Yeah.
And that was kind of funny because before we get into like Joshua, we're going to talk about Joshua. I guess we kind of jumped ahead, didn't we?
I know. We're really antsy to get onto the other stuff, but let's just finish this.
No, yeah,
and
for
we'll
sure.
move. Yeah.
But it's kind of interesting. They had the most influential TV moms, and I thought it was kind of funny because, you know, some you go, oh yeah, for sure, and they don't put them in any order. But then other ones, they're not even like necessarily on the list, you know. So it was like, oh wow, that's kind of
There
interesting.
were some that shocked me that weren't on the list.
Like, what were some that you thought of that? Oh, they have to be.
Yeah, like, well, first of all, is the mom from 90210 on there?
No.
Okay.
Oh, they're horrible parents. Brandon and Brenda all over the place, acting like whores. No way.
Oh man.
I'm joking.
Jeez. Okay.
Me and Adam were just talking about that, about how
they
old they were,
were.
and the
It's
one girl,
so
Gabrielle
crazy.
Contreras, was
She was
like
like
32 or something like
dude.
that. She's playing a high school kid.
And she looked it. But I love that show. That was like my age range.
I remember when it first came out, and the next day at school, literally everybody was like talking about it. It
Yeah.
was so like, oh
And
my gosh,
Melrose
seriously.
Place.
And I remember thinking like, well, I guess it's a good thing I decided to watch it. You know? And then it wasn't bad, you know, but then
Yeah.
that kid died. Killed himself the first
yeah.
episode or whatever, his buddy
Gosh,
or whatever
you
it was.
remember that?
Yeah, Brian
Jeez.
Austin Green's buddy.
I don't know.
Or maybe
I
it was
thought
with the first couple, but he ended up like killing himself or something like that. It was supposed to be a whole thing, of
Oh my
course,
gosh,
about
I don't know.
suicide.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that was. I mean, that's a big deal. Like back then, they didn't really talk about that stuff.
No, I guess not.
So I guess it was kind of, you know.
I can remember them talking
Ahead of
about
the time.
weed on Growing Pains.
Oh,
Or,
really?
or no, maybe it was
What about
drinking.
the mom from Growing Pains?
No, she is
what
not.
I'm saying?
Joanna Kearns, I
And
know.
What about Home Improvement Mom?
Nope. Jill
See,
Taylor.
like, to
she was
what?
not. Those are like runner-ups, but they were not like on the list. Some on the list were like, and some of these are old. You know, some of our listener question mark. Joking.
I know.
Um,
Oh man.
They might
Thanks,
not know,
Mom.
depending on their age range, they might not know these. But Jean Stapleton, who was Edith Bunker and All in the Family.
Oh yeah.
I'll have course.
She's number one.
She's on the list. She's one of the top.
Okay. You do it.
Whatever you mean, darling.
She always said that. I thought it was interesting that lady Tracy Ellis Ross.
I don't know.
Who is the mother in Blackish. It's actually
Oh.
Diana Ross's daughter.
Oh.
By the way, yeah, and
Okay.
she is pretty funny, but I thought that was kind of funny. Like she's one of the
I
newer
don't even
ones
know
that's
who
on the
that
list.
is. Okay.
Florence Henderson, Carol Brady.
Oh yeah.
Brady Bunch.
She's the ultimate mom.
To me, that was sort of like,
Come
of course.
on.
I thought this is kind of interesting. Claire Huxtable, Felicia Rashad
Oh,
from
yeah.
The Cosby Show.
Oh yeah.
You know, of course, maybe your
Heck
husband
yeah.
isn't. I mean, well, I guess he would be one of the most influential TV dads.
Because of I mean, I am so sad because I love the
Oh, but
Cosby.
that was my mom. My mom is not, big TV, whatever, but
It's like her
Cosby show was, family night. We are all going to sit here and watch this show.
Yeah.
Nobody else is doing anything, or if you are, I don't care. We're watching the show, and, that's where my mom would be.
Yeah,
You know,
I mean, I
It's
love
so funny. And I loved it, too. I thought it was great. He was funny,
Hurts
Jello
my
jigglers.
feelings. Let's not rabbit hole. Let's
No,
move
it's not.
forward. Okay.
I never watched this show, but Connie Britton was Tammy Taylor in Friday Night Lights.
Nope.
That show I always heard was a great show, but I never watched it.
Me either.
I'm sure everybody in Texas did, though.
Oh, I'm sure.
Estelle Getty, Sophia Petrillo in The Golden Girls.
And the Golden Girls.
I mean, come on now.
Oh yeah.
Florida Evans, Esther Roll in Good Times, I would say so.
Sure. Yep. Totally.
And of course,
What about Happy Days?
Peggy Bundy.
I know
I see
that.
it. Yeah, yes,
Yes.
Peggy Bundy.
Peggy Bundy. Yes, yes, yes.
I mean, come on.
I mean, the worst mom ever, but
Oh,
still.
Peg! That was just great.
You do good. That's good. It's so weird. I do not think of him
Ed O'Neill.
as
yeah.
as Al Bundy anymore because we watch so much Modern Family.
I see both of it, but yeah, he's more
I mean, I can,
mellow
obviously.
in Modern Family, but he's just as funny though. His little one-liners, they're-
You know, when you do his voice, I can like see him at the shoe store. And,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it can pop up memories and stuff. And
Yeah.
also,
Peg, I don't want to do that.
but he's so like the opposite, plays a complete opposite
Yeah, he's
character
so
in
like
Modern
Yeah,
Family. like,
he's very
distinguished
self-assured and
business savvy and yeah.
yeah, he's like a business owner
Which I
who makes a
prefer
lot
to
of money.
know Ed O'Neill
Ed O'Neill, yeah.
like that. I wonder how he really is in real life.
Yeah.
I
To
wonder
me,
what
he
his
seems
deal
like that
is.
genuine kind of character, like just
yeah.
like someone you could just go up to and randomly just, hey man, dude, I love your work, and he would be a very genuine person
Yeah.
to you, be very
I
nice,
feel like that,
you know,
yeah.
I don't know Tom Hanks, but you know, you hear about that, or like a Keanu Reeves, or just somebody that just seems very good natured.
He
Yeah,
seems
doesn't-
approachable.
Yeah, exactly. I guess that's a perfect word. I should have used that. Yeah, but you said Happy Days, Mrs. C.
Yeah.
Marion Ross. I thought she would have been on there too, and she is not.
I mean,
but Marge Simpson is.
Okay, yeah,
You know.
for sure.
Which of course it has to work. I haven't seen the show, but I know it's very popular and it's supposed to be really good. Mandy Moore is Rebecca Pearson, and This Is Us.
Yeah, I never
It's
seen
set in
it.
like 3 different timelines, and like I think she
Yeah.
has like cancer in her timeline, and so in the future one she is passed, and it's sort of this matriarch thing. I don't, and
That
she always
sounds
gets.
sad.
Yeah, but it's supposed to. Yeah, that's what it is. It's supposed to be like a real tearjerker of a show. But really good. But yeah, I mean, I haven't seen it, but I hear it's really good. But that's kind of one of the reasons why I haven't seen it, because it's like
I don't want to cry.
Yeah, like.
But you know what? I'm like telling people to cry, so I'm like not doing the work.
Hey, I mean, it does feel good to cry.
It
for
does
sure.
feel good to cry, and if you're gonna cry, I'm always taking advantage of like if I have to cry. If I cry about something, I'm always like, what problem can I think about right now? What I could cry about? Because like if it's a movie or something, you know, and it like gets me to that like.
Yeah, I mean, and,
I'm
it,
like,
and it
can
does
I
sort of
cry
invest
about,
in
like-
the characters a little bit, you know,
You know?
especially if it's getting to you like that, you know.
I know, but you gotta be in the mood to cry, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway,
Or kind of get caught off guard, I guess.
right.
Yep. One.
I got caught
what was
off-
another one that I was? The mom from Modern Family. She was like an
Oh, yeah.
honorable mention too.
Yes, she was.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's
She
great.
wasn't on the list.
She's
but-
great.
Yeah, she is pretty funny.
She's hilarious.
I think the husband's hilarious.
He's hilarious. He's funnier than she is.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, they
He
both
can.
have their moments, but yeah,
Yeah.
he usually gets some of the best little lines and stuff in there. And
I feel like
Some of the
he's
storylines,
super
you know?
approachable. That actor seems like he would be really sweet.
yeah, I don't know. It's funny because he used to have these little bits in movies where he was always like a dick.
Oh,
You know, he's like
really?
a scheming lawyer or a
Oh,
con
wow.
guy. Yeah, you know, because he kind of has that look, you know, and that face. And so when he started doing this, it was completely different. Like, oh, wow, you know, he's kind
wow.
of goofy and
I
funny.
only
Like,
know him that way.
but you know, like some of those actors, you see them,
Yeah.
and it's like you know they've always played a certain person for so long or something.
Yeah,
so you
they're
always kind of
typecast.
think, you always kind of think of them that way. But you know, like Ed O'Neill or something, you know,
Yeah.
and then you see him differently, and you're like, oh yeah,
Good
okay,
acting.
hey, they can do that, yeah, you know.
But like I think of Ryan Reynolds, and he's always him that.
Ryan Reynolds to me is just like Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, always.
You know what I
like
mean?
I feel like that's who he is.
There's a few movies where he has like done a little bit more stretches, like Smoking Aces. I wasn't a huge critical
really
acclaim.
watch it.
Man, well, we did sort of some of it. It was the one
Okay.
set in Vegas where all the hitmen are headed to that one guy to kill him all at the same
Oh.
time, and
Oh yeah.
and he plays the FBI agent with
we
Ray
never
Liotta,
finished.
and yeah. But he's got, you know, he's like really, he's more machismo and pissed off and kind of like, I guess, an action sort of person where he doesn't have.
I don't want to see him like that.
But yeah, I mean, he does a good job, but you know, yeah, he always usually just sort of plays. Not that it's bad, you know. I mean, he still makes good movies. It's kind of like Keanu Reeves. Keanu Reeves sort of always plays Keanu Reeves mostly. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? With
Oh,
a few
yeah.
little, you know, Bill and Ted moments or something. But Walk in the Clouds was good. But you know, he's sort of always played those. But he's still, I mean, yeah, he's like very approachable. And in most of his movies, I'll see. You know, Point
Yeah.
Break.
Yeah.
You talk. Give me 2.
Moving us back to mothers.
Sorry.
Who else is on the list?
That was like pretty much all like
All
on
of
the
them?
main list. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I think it's super weird that they didn't have the
Yeah, Mrs. C. They didn't have Mrs. Severs, Growing Pains.
don't know
What about the
Mi-
mom from The Wonder Years?
Oh yeah.
I mean, come on. Or the mom from Family Ties.
Yeah. Or Family Guy.
Or someone, so,
you
yeah,
know?
because when they were talking about that on the radio program, that's what they said. That was one of the guesses that people had asked.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah,
I don't
I don't
know.
know her name on the show. Oh, Peter.
Is it Peggy?
Oh,
Peg.
man.
Meg. Meg.
I think
Rabbit hole.
Is it Meg this is
I'm
daughter?
moving. I'm shifting
Yeah,
this back.
anyway.
Whoa, rein
Yep.
it in.
Let's
Come here. Come here, fella. All right. So,
Well, before we move forward, right,
yes.
into like what's coming out later on in theaters and stuff we saw, you wanted to talk about something that kind of stuck out to you when you were doing your Bible study.
Yeah, so I'm
And something I didn't was, I guess I glanced over too. I don't ever really remember this.
I'm doing a Bible study on Joshua with my neighbor girlfriends here on Saturday mornings. And it's about worry and how to, tackle worry. So in Joshua 10,
Did you want to read it?
No, I would like you
You
to
want me
read
to
it
read it?
because I think
Okay.
you are much more of a beautiful reader.
Pull open my trusty Bible. All right, so we're looking at Joshua 10 here.
I want to know if you know this story. I want to know if you know this. Please, leave a comment or a message or something. Text me because I did not know this and I was flabbergasted.
All right, so should I just start at 1?
Yeah, I guess.
And then, okay, so I'll just do Joshua 10, verse 1 through 15.
Do it.
So sit yourself down with your popcorn, people. Here we go.
Here we go.
All right, and this sort of this sort of part of the story is where the sun stands still.
Yes. So he's been fighting.
Yeah.
And it's God. God tells him, "I'm going to help you. You must go fight this." And instead of him saying, "Can't you just help me kill them? Make a big hole in the ground, Lord," or whatever, he asks for God to stop time so he has enough time to do what God wants him to do. Mm-hmm. And so he's going into this huge, because
he's leading them
huge battle
across the Jordan,
right?
And he's pretty much he was the now that I remember some of it, and I had to read up a little bit, but he's pretty much took over for Moses.
Right.
Essentially.
That's exactly it.
And so,
yes.
he's helping to lead them, and Israelites are sort of I don't know about, we can't do it, and,
They're real
they're
complainy.
a bunch of whiny bees.
And God says, join Joshua, do whatever he says.
Right.
That's what happens right before
And
this.
so and at this point in Scripture, in Joshua 10, he's already defeated Ai and defeated Jericho. And they're moving on. And what's interesting about this part is there are kind of 5 different kings that he's going to be going up against. Mm-hmm. And instead of him having to forge 5 different campaigns, all 5 of those kings decided to work together to attack him. So really, when Joshua and his people were going to attack, they really had, it was just one place they had to go. They didn't have to go to 5 different, make 5 different campaigns, 5 different war, areas, and okay, you guys flank right and left, and we're, just, okay, hey, they're all right here. They're all chilling at Pizza Hut right now. So, okay, so here we are in chapter 10. Sorry, I'm joking. There is no Pizza Hut. Now Adoni-Zedek, king of Jerusalem, heard that Joshua had taken Ai and totally destroyed it, doing to Ai and its king what he had done to Jericho and its king, and that the people of Gibeon had been made a treaty of peace with Israel and become their allies. He and his people were very much alarmed at this because Gibeon was an important city, like one of the royal cities. It was larger than Ai, and all its men were good fighters. So Adoni-Zedek, king of Jerusalem, appealed to Hadam, king of Hebron. I'm sorry if I'm butchering these names. Piram, king of Jarmuth, Japhia, king of Lachish, and Debir, king of Eglon. Come up and help me attack Gibeon, he said, because it has made peace with Joshua and the Israelites. Then the 5 kings of the Amorites, the kings of Jerusalem, Hebron, Jarmuth, Lachish, and Eglon, joined forces. They moved up their troops and took positions up against Gibeon and attacked it. The Gibeonites then sent word to Joshua at the camp of Gilgal. Do not abandon your servants. Come up to us quickly and save us. Help us, because all the Amorite kings from the hill country have joined forces against us. So Joshua marched up from Gilgal with his entire army, including all the best fighting men. The Lord said to Joshua, do not be afraid of them. I have given them into your hand. Not one of them will be able to withstand you. after an all-night march. I know, you know, being told that, right?
I mean, God is telling you.
And not one of them will be able
Not
to withstand
one of
it.
them, so keep moving
But
forward.
you know, at the same time, you're like, man, how is this going to work? Considering, you know, it's kind of funny though, considering that, you know, now this is also sort of a newer
that's
generation.
Exactly what I was thinking. He's like, time needs to stand still for me to accomplish this.
And it's interesting too when like in that time, like what's happening too is I think it's been like 40 years or something, right? So a lot of the older generation is now gone, and the newer generation is willing to kind of give it a try. So a lot of the newer generation too hasn't really seen some of the miraculous things that have happened. You know what I mean? So it's kind of, you know, it's kind of interesting too, because you'd almost think like, okay, if all these things have already happened, why wouldn't they just be like, oh yeah, God, come on, here we go. You know, and it's like, well, they weren't necessarily around at that time, so I mean, it's kind of hard for them to have that kind of faith, I guess. I mean, you know, essentially, it's just like if we were a voice or something, or someone said that no one will be able to defeat you. You know what I mean?
Not now, ESPN. Yes, and I think that a lot of people, generationally, we forget all the miracles. I don't know all the miracles God has done that has been written in the Bible. Let alone miracles that are happening all day long.
And they don't even write all of them down.
Sure, you know? I mean, So, but it is a great reminder, you know. So anyway, sorry.
Yeah, and it's just, you know, the faith that they have, and, you know, they're going to war, and it's like, well, I don't know if 1 against 5 kings and their men are going to work, and, you know, they'll not be able to withstand you. And
boom.
All right, Lord, if that's what you say, here we go.
Goes.
After an all-night march from Gilgal, Joshua took them by surprise. The Lord threw them into confusion before Israel, so Joshua and the Israelites defeated them completely at Gibeon. Israel pursued them along the road going up to Beth Horon, and cut them down all the way to Azekah and Megiddo. Thank you.
Yep.
As they fled before Israel on the road down to Beth Horon of Azekah, the Lord hurled large hailstones down on them, and more of them died from the hail than were killed by the swords of Israelites.
So he got involved.
Right.
It's so interesting.
On the day the Lord gave the Amorites over to Israel, Joshua said to the Lord in the presence of Israel, Sun, stand still over Gibeon, and you, moon, over the Valley of Aijalon. So the sun stood still and the moon stopped, till the nation avenged itself on its enemies, as it is written in the Book of Jashar.
Dude.
The sun stopped in the middle of the sky and delayed going down about a full day. There was never been a day like it before or since, a day when the Lord listened to a human being. Surely the Lord was fighting for Israel. Then Joshua returned with all Israel to the camp of Gilgal.
Okay. What? Huh?
Yeah, I know, right?
What? So when we say God can do anything, I mean, holy moly guacamole, he stopped time. Actually,
well, and it's interesting how they talk about it, how they say they stopped time. Like it's not like time was stopped. You know, it like it says the Book of Jashar, like Hebrew, like I think it was like Hebrew text or something, was saying that, you know, God, whatever God's method was, they think it was something along the lines of, you know, because the sun, it's interesting to think of, the sun doesn't go up or down. You know, we say the sun rises and sets, but it never moves. We do. You know, the earth does, you know. So it's actually, like they say, well, what probably happened was the earth's rotation probably just slowed down and stopped.
Yeah, there's lots of different theories. There's lots of different theories.
Yeah, whatever it was, God is able to...
He still stopped it.
Yeah.
Like...
That's crazy.
Yeah.
You know?
We are human, and we want to figure out how he did it. We're so, like...
And that's the thing, too.
We have to figure out the ways of God. I'm going to tell you right now, friend, you ain't never going to find out the ways of God ever until you're in heaven. Mm-hmm. You know? So it's like, however they want to figure it out, the point is 24 hours went, stopped, stayed while he defeated all these people, and God made it happen. Mm-hmm. He delivered on his promise. And miracles, man, they're real. I want to have a Bible study about all the miracles, because that is so faith fulfilling.
Yeah.
You know, God is the same today, yesterday, you know, tomorrow, forever. omnipresent, everywhere, all the time, never changing.
Yeah.
You know, it's pretty rad, all the huge miracles that he's done. And then, of course, with Jesus and all the miracles and how the Holy Spirit moves and shifts. You know, it's beautiful.
Yeah, because, you just need to have faith, like in that story, you know? I mean, it's hard to always be on the straight and narrow, you know what I mean? I mean, we all have issues. We all have problems, you know?
Yeah.
And I mean, it's just kind of, remembering to sometimes recommit yourself or, just know that you need to have faith in God, and sometimes it's not always going to be of your planning. Sometimes it happens a different way than you think it should.
Yeah.
And sometimes obviously, roadblocks are put in the way, or maybe you think you're supposed to go right, but you got to go left, And I mean, we always think that we know what's best for ourselves. You know what I mean? And
true.
God is truly the one that knows what's best for our lives. And he's just trying to help direct us on that path. And sometimes it's hard because, it's, when you have faith, you're believing in something you can't see, touch, smell, hear, or whatever. But that's the beauty of faith, is knowing that it's there regardless of knowing you need to see it. You know what I mean? I mean, it's funny. I mean, people say, well, how unless I can touch it and feel it and da-da-da. But then you ask those same people, like, well, do you believe in love? I mean, you can't touch it, can't see it, Oh, well, I can feel it. Okay, well, I can feel God. I mean, I know when he's working in my life, you just feel it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I mean,
well,
it's
God
interesting.
is love.
Right.
There's
where do you
no
think it came from?
separation.
I don't know. I just think it's kind of
There is
interesting
a
that we
separation
sort of
of
close our
ego
minds
love.
to certain things,
Sure.
and
Yeah.
and it is interesting because it's kind of like, I mean, having this faith in something that you can't see. I mean, you're just reading about and learning about, like, and some people, like we were talking about before with like the Hollywood version of religion. Well, I do good things, so I should be rewarded for
I'm
that.
a good
It's like, well, that
person.
doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't. And I mean, it's great that you're doing good things, but if you don't acknowledge the Lord as your personal savior, I mean, you're trying to live all for yourself. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
not about yourself. It's about, it's more than that, And it's just kind of interesting.
So
and
much
that's what's
more
tough
than
with
that.
faith,
Yeah.
Which I can understand, I mean, people have these thoughts and, well, if God's such a loving God, then why does he allow this to happen or that to happen? And those are all relevant questions, and they're worth looking into, But,
Yeah.
I mean, he allows these things to happen, for a reason. And, I mean, we have free will. He gives us the ability.
And others have free will,
Right.
and we are sinners, so we are going to sin against each other.
Sure. But with free
we're
will,
not
he allows
puppets.
us to take the journey on, because God can't just make us, he could, if he wanted to, just say, hey, you believe in God. You know what I mean? But that's not how
Yeah.
it works. He gives free will to give us our own path to figure out who he is. You know what I mean? And I mean, that's where the faith lies, is that journey, that understanding of going through trials and tribulations. I mean, I know I've gone through enough in my life to know that there is a God. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, you've felt him in multiple
Sure.
ways, drastically and then daily.
Sure. Oh,
And
yeah.
there is a peacefulness, over you, especially in a storm. He's present.
Yeah, and that's where, and that's the tough part, is when you're in that storm, remembering to have
peace.
faith and just know that, God's putting you there for a reason. You're not always going to be there. And just know you will come out of it. But, but that's where we can't get discouraged, is, God, why did God put me in this position? I shouldn't be here right now. You know what I mean? Like, well, think about why you're there, Usually you'll find the reason.
And if you don't, then you will later.
Yep, exactly.
He will show you.
Bam.
Ba-bam.
But yeah, you'll have to tell us more about how the Bible study's going.
Yeah, it's good. It helps with worry and, hurry equals worry, right? We're always hurrying
And anxiety.
around, and it always gives you, like, worry and anxiety and stuff. So I was like, oh, yeah, that, saying no to things instead of saying yes to everything. Learning to say no to certain things that you can't quite fit in your schedule, or you really
you
shouldn't be
feel
doing.
guilty about those things.
Just learning how to what is your time worth and who deserves the most of it? Children, husband, family, blah, blah, careful not to overwork and all of those things. So I like it. It gives you what is happening in your life and write it down here. So it makes you really think about your life and go into it. Lots of scripture.
Yep.
I'm finding out all sorts of stuff. God stopping time. It's all crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
So yeah, moving on. What I got to go see
Moving
a movie.
on.
You did.
You saw a movie without me.
Yeah, you
Yep.
did last time with Jack.
Yep.
Now I did with Jack.
No, you did.
Lucky Jack. Yeah, I babysat the other day, and we went and saw If. It just came out. That's the Imaginary Friend movie. And it has Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Reynolds.
That's what that means, doesn't it? I didn't even think about
If.
that.
Yeah, Imaginary Friend.
Duh.
I mean, I didn't know it until they talk about it in the
I was
movie.
thinking it meant what if? Or something
yeah,
like
well,
that.
it
I
is
didn't even
kind of.
think
They
about
say that too.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, Ryan Reynolds is in it, and that guy from The Office.
John Krasinski.
Yeah, he plays the
it was written
dad.
and directed by him, yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to say anything because it just came out, so I don't want to ruin anything, but I'll just tell you, it is cute, it is funny. I went with a 9-year-old, a 7-year-old, and a 3-year-old, and for them, it was delightful to, they enjoyed it.
They didn't throw popcorn at the movie or anything.
It's a kid's movie. There was not a lot of, sexual innuendos.
Oh, yeah, innuendos.
Innuendos, or, even, weird underlying whatevers. It was just cute, friendly, funny, decent, but 4 stars, man. It was cute, and Jack loved it. He was like, "This is my new favorite movie." I'm like, "All right, cool." So,
all right, on, cool. Yeah, it looks pretty good.
Yeah,
that does look pretty good.
It's cute. I like a good cute movie.
Yeah,
decent. And then you watched.
Well, yeah, I watched one without you, and it was on the other side of the spectrum. It was
the
horrible.
opposite side.
Yeah, Madam Web. It's the new Marvel movie. It came out a couple months ago, and they just released it on Netflix. So, I guess no skin off our back other than $10 a month. But, yeah, it was just not good.
Yeah.
It was just, and it's supposed to be set against, it's sort of got a Spider-Man backdrop, because it's got Ben Parker in it, who was Spider-Man's uncle that he lived with in all the comics and the previous movies. The newer ones, it was just Aunt May, but in the other ones, it was anyway.
Yeah.
It just the whole time frame didn't make sense, because it was in this movie too. The girl Madam Web is apparently her mom is in the jungles in the 70s, and she gets shot and taken by these spider people after this spider, whatever, and it supposedly, I guess, has something to do around the same spider that Spider-Man was bitten by, but she's bitten by the spider, because it's got these powerful, obviously Spider-Man, and it could heal her, but it doesn't heal her because they didn't get to her in time, but she was pregnant, and so when she gives birth, which she did 5 minutes later, Madam, it's Cassandra Webb, or Madam Web. And as she grows older, and she's a paramedic working with Adam Scott, who's a great actor, and apparently he just has nothing to do in this movie. It kind of sucks. But he plays Ben Parker, who's Spider-Man's uncle, and in this movie, Spider-Man's born, or Peter Parker's born, but it's set in the year 2009. So if we're going by the regular Marvel standards, then he's only 11 years old when he was fighting in the Avengers. It wouldn't make any sense. So I don't know if this is supposed to be not a spin or a tie to the other ones. But then they do a whole Spider-Man thing. It didn't make any sense. I think it's always a way for them to draw people in. But the acting was not good. The story just didn't make any sense the way it moved, and the action just was anything you've ever seen in anything else ever before, and with better explosions. The other movies, yes, had better explosions. It didn't even have a good explosion.
It was a 1.
Yeah, it just, it was just.
Well, thanks for taking it for the team.
You're welcome. But, you know, we watched a few old school ones just to make up for it.
To make up for it.
Like
we
the
watched,
Goonies.
Yeah.
I mean, that's always a classic. I mean, of course, everybody's seen that.
Except for our kids.
Well, yeah, they hadn't seen it. The young ones haven't seen it. It's got a few curse words in it. I mean, it's a 1985 PG movie, so there's a lot
Yeah, that's like a rated R movie now.
Yeah, there's a lot of shits in it.
Yeah.
But...
Oops.
But it's, you know, I mean...
Yeah.
God, these days, there's more on YouTube.
Oh, gosh.
We also watched some of... it's coming out soon. The third one.
Yeah.
But we started watching Deadpool 2.
Yeah.
Which I guess you had seen, but it was like the PG-13 version.
Yeah,
so
but
to me,
it's
that's
so
like you have not
similar.
seen it.
Yeah, right.
You know?
Totally, because I'm missing all the violence and yeah.
Yeah, and I don't. I mean, I'll have to see the
He is
PG-13
funny.
version.
I
guess.
love Ryan Reynolds. He's great. So
Yeah, he is funny. You know, Ryan Reynolds playing Ryan Reynolds.
yeah.
And then we watched. We watched some of it. We didn't really end with it, but
We have to because we started watching it thinking it would be okay, and then it got sexy and druggy.
yeah, and with the younger kids, we were like, oh wait a
we have to
second,
stop
there's
this.
like hypodermic needles. Forgot about this
So
part.
you remember this movie, The Crow?
Yeah, with Brandon Lee, his
Yeah.
last movie.
He
Bruce
died
Lee's
on
son.
that movie.
Yep, died on the set.
That's
yeah.
so sad. It makes me not want to watch the movie.
Oh, it's such a good movie, though.
Yeah, we have to watch the end.
Yeah, we should. Seriously.
I don't
Great
remember
movie.
what this is.
Horizon, that's something that's coming out soon. I was going to talk about some of these things that are coming out soon,
okay.
which we can talk about now.
Sure.
Horizon's the new Kevin Costner Western that's coming out, an American Saga, and they have part 1 coming out in a couple of weeks. Like, I think it's the end of June.
I love
And
Kevin
then part
Costner.
2 is actually coming out like a month later, or in August or something. And
Cool.
this looks pretty, I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing this one, because
Yeah.
it's Kevin Costner, Western.
After Yellowstone, I cannot talk.
Yellowstone! Hey, I like that dude, Yellowstone.
Jeez.
No, yeah, exactly.
After
Yellowstone, I mean,
Yellowstone, I like him in a cowboy hat. Like,
and it kind of
handling
fits a bill.
business.
And apparently,
Yeah.
this is some crazy over-the-top budget movie. You know, I mean, it costs
I think
a
it
lot,
cost him
200
his
million or more.
divorce.
Yeah, I mean, that's what they say.
I mean, his marriage. It cost him his marriage. You know?
Yeah.
Oh, poor thing.
Yeah, it cost him. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, but it looks pretty good.
So,
I mean, that one.
So that comes out. I'm sorry, I missed it.
That comes out in late June.
June.
And
okay.
then I believe it's like a saga. So they have like a chapter 1 and chapter 2, and I think the second chapter actually comes out like a month, the same summer. It comes out like in August or something.
Oh,
So,
damn.
yeah,
All
it'd be
right.
pretty cool.
Okay.
It's kind of strange,
That's kinda
but
cool.
yeah,
Has
it's kind
the
of
movie
like.
ever done that before?
Well, I remember Back to the Future did that. They
Oh.
had part 2 that came out. Like I want to say, part 2 came out Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And then 3 came out the following summer, like May.
Oh,
you know, so it
wow.
was kind of close. You
Yeah,
know, but it
okay.
wasn't like as squeezed
That's cool.
together. But yeah, I remember that. I remember they did that with that, and then I think they did that with like Matrix movie too. I think they kind of filmed them together like that.
Yeah.
Because that's what they do with Back
They
to the Future 2
probably
and 3.
should have done that with Titanic, like split it up. Because it was so long of a movie.
Yeah, that
But-
well, these days that's like nothing.
Yeah, honestly.
I mean, Mission Impossible 7 was like it
20
seemed like
hours
4
long.
hours. Yeah.
What else is coming out?
And the one I'm looking forward to is The Watcher. I think I mentioned that before. It's M. Night Shyamalan's daughter that's doing that one. That looks
Yeah.
awesome. Like, a girl
Rock
who I think it's
on.
Dakota Fanning ends up in like she's running through she gets lost in the forest in like Sweden, or I think it
Yeah.
is, and ends up finding shelter in this, room, which turns out to be like this glass box in the middle of the forest where these creatures are outside at night, like viewing them.
Weird.
So yeah, it just looks like a trip. That one looks good. But what's coming out soon, like this next weekend here, May 24th, Furiosa, the Mad Max saga, and for all the reviews are showing this movie looks awesome.
Yeah, I want to see that.
I mean, and George Miller. I mean, he's been doing from the first one. He did Mad Max, Road Warrior, Beyond Thunderdome. I mean, he's done all of them, even the redone ones like Fury Road. And yeah, man. I mean, the way the landscape he puts them on, this just grand scope of things. I mean, like gravity-defying stunts and these cars just.
It's gonna be rad. It's gonna be so rad.
I hear there's more effects that are used in this one than in the previous movies, but
Well, of
which kind of give it a
course.
drag. But still, like they say that,
it's newer and everything is updated and there's more options.
Yeah, but George Miller's that's what he's known for, is just throwing caution to the wind and just having these gravity-defying and just crazy car stunts and just, they're just incredible, Wow. And then it'll have like some kind of pogo stick that's doing it too on the hood or something. But and they say, and the story is kind of different. Like the actual Furiosa that you see in the trailers and stuff, she didn't even show up until I guess an hour into the movie. They kind of split it up into different segments when she's younger, and it shows a little bit of her mother, I guess, and how much of a badass she was, I guess, and how showing her
backstory.
Furiosa's character, because Furiosa is Charlize Theron's character in that Fury Road movie. If anyone remembers that, which came out, God.
So this is her young.
So this is her story and before she teamed up with Mad Max.
Oh yeah, I'm pumped.
And and all
and
the reviews,
like girl
awesome.
Fighting, kick-ass.
Yeah, that's
movies.
all the rage
I
now.
love that.
That is all the rage now.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, that's coming out this weekend, which it looks awesome. And then also,
excited.
for the kiddos, the Garfield movie.
And me, I love it. I'm so excited about Garfield.
It's got a lot of people in it. Chris Pratt's the voice of Garfield. I believe.
And I love him.
Samuel Jackson and even Snoop Dogg has a role in it.
Honestly, I want to see Garfield over the other one.
Seriously?
I know.
How about we can go to the movies and then just we'll split off and we can get our separate reviews.
Yeah.
No.
Or how about we just go for the one and stay for two?
Ooh.
I'm telling.
I know. I'm telling Nathaniel.
Oh my.
Yeah, that's
well,
coming
I look
out.
forward to those things. Yay.
Yeah.
Yay.
And then on the TV side,
Sugar.
man, we watched this show called Sugar that premiered on Apple. Premiered last month, and they just finished the last episode Friday. It premiered on Apple.
Yep.
Colin Farrell plays a Hollywood. Private detective who gets hired by this big-time Hollywood producer to find his granddaughter.
Yep.
And it's this whole thing that goes on. It's 8 episodes.
Yeah.
They're about 35, 45 minutes each.
Yeah. And it keeps you interested.
We mentioned before, like they do it like a film noir, and it's cool, because sometimes they'll show him turning, right on, La Brea, and then it'll show a clip from, some old school, where the car's turning right on that same area. It's cool. It's kind of cool how they do those little things.
Yeah, I thought that was super cool.
It just gets kind of trippy at the end. Not to spoil anything.
Oh, you're going to do it?
Nope.
You're going to tell us?
No.
Yeah.
And it does lead to what may be a second season, hopefully.
Yeah, I think so.
But yeah, it's it is a good show, for sure.
It's good. It's surprising at the end. I was like, wait, what?
And his character is just so like smooth. Like this guy just walks in anywhere and gets what he wants. You know, and can get himself out of anything.
Yeah.
Or someone else out of anything. It's pretty good.
He's not bad to look at, ladies.
Ladies. Yeah, and it's got Amy Ryan. She's also in it, and she's really good. She's from The Office and also Only Murders in the Building. Mm-hmm. She was the first, wasn't she the first killer? The one that played the oboe?
Yes.
Yeah. And I can't remember. I'm trying to think who else was in it that had a name. James Cromwell was the big-time Hollywood producer. He's an older actor. I don't know if a lot of people remember him.
Our listeners do, because I think they're our age. Most of them.
Yeah, and then we also watched Hollywood Con Queen, which was on. That was on Apple as well, or was that Netflix?
I don't know. You always have the remote.
I want to say Apple. That was on Apple.
You are the remote handler.
Man, that was interesting because it was like, dude, it's about. You want to explain it?
It's just a sociopath.
It's a documentary done in 3 parts.
Yeah, a sociopath who just tortures and tricks people and goes as
big time Hollywood
producers and gets photographers or
it's always women.
Artists.
It was always women.
He always
and it was big time.
He was impersonating these women.
Kathleen Kennedy, who was the big, E.T. Indian. Anything Spielberg's done, she's affiliated with it. I mean, like, that's
so
how
he
big
like
she was.
pretended he was her, and he took
Couple
people
other people.
for so much money, set up interviews and all these different things. And he was just a con man, like crazy con man. He was from another country.
He's from
Where was he from?
Was it
India?
Jakarta?
Where's that? India?
India, yeah.
Yeah. And he wanted
like
to be
from-
famous. He was like obsessed with being famous. Con queen because he was gay. And like he was like trying to impersonate all these different women and take all these people's money, but he was infatuated with the game part of it and the messing people's lives.
Yeah, it
up
almost
part.
wasn't about the money. It was
But
about
he did get
creating
like over
a
2
life.
million.
Yeah, I think it said he made he conned over 500 people and made
Yeah.
close to about 2 or 4 million.
Yeah,
something
like that.
But it's weird because, like, when they would talk about what these people had to do, because he would say, you know, and he would go after, let's say, actors on the rise, photographers. You know, it was different people.
Hungry to get noticed.
Yeah, it was just like different people, like in the industry, and he, you know, writers or whatnot, and he would tell them, okay, I need you to go to India, and I need you to go here and do that and do this.
Take
And da-da-da. When you get there, there'll be a driver to pick you up, and then you go to the hotel, and they'll tell you, and I just need you to do these certain things. They would pay for their own airfare, and then when they got there, then they would say, you know, oh, we need you to give the driver $1,200.
And
for
we'll
all the stuff, we'll
reimburse
reimburse
you.
you and stuff like that. But then when they went over the tallies of like what they had spent on like airfare versus what he had conned them out of, it was like they spent like, you know, $38,000 in flights, but then like $6,000 in what he got from them. And it's like, so guy, why?
What's the point? But
Yeah, it
it was
almost
just
seemed like he
really to
wasn't-
ruin people's lives. He got
Yeah.
off on it.
Yeah, like a sociopath. And it was like,
Yeah.
and you would claim to be these Hollywood producers and make them do this or that. And then it's interesting because this reporter from the Hollywood Reporter, he kind of, I mean, it's sort of his thing, and it's his story, and it talks about how he got to interview him, and then so I mean, and the last episode, because it's done in 3 parts, it's really just him approaching him. The guy's able to Harvey, you know, he goes by as one of his names. He allows him to do this interview, and then he just calls him relentlessly. And it's almost like he's torturing the reporter.
Yes.
Yeah, and I mean, and it's weird because he admits to all these things, like, I know I'm going to prison, you know, or whatever. But it's just like...
But I was abused by my father, you know, and you're like trying to...
Yeah, and he
wants
tells
you
these
to have sympathy
half-truths.
for him.
Just, oh, yeah, it was
And
weird.
it's like, dude, I was abused by my stepdad, okay? I'm not going around killing people's dreams.
Yeah,
You
it
know,
was
I
just
mean,
really... I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's...
It makes you feel like, oh, man, so glad I didn't get cross
We got
paths
caught up
with
watching
that
it,
person.
like, because we were wanting to watch Sugar. We were waiting for the last episode. You know, it's like, even talking about it, it's like, ugh, guys.
Well, also, you and I wanted to be actors in Hollywood. We both had resumes. We both had headshots. We both went on auditions. We both have, and we can understand the enticement of thinking that you got like a big job like that. Like,
and a
I
lot
would
of
have
this was
been
happening
totally
during COVID,
fooled.
so work was scarce,
Oh,
you know. And
yeah.
so, yeah, I mean, it was an easy prey. If someone called you up,
yeah.
they say they're producer, and
I
they're
would
like,
have
well, this is
believed
what we're
it.
going to need.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it was kind of interesting. So if you want to go down a Hollywood con queen,
Yeah.
road,
Crazy.
yeah, it was weird. And then we also started watching a show called Bodkin on Netflix.
That I think is funny.
It's funny. It's kind of it's sort of like what's kind of going on these days now. It's a podcaster who is doing sort of
mystery.
Mystery on this town in Ireland. Will Forte is the lead, and he's from SNL. He was MacGruber. He's in the movie Strays. He was a dog owner in Strays.
Yes.
The Last Man on Earth. You know,
We saw him on Jimmy Kimmel.
He was just on Jimmy Kimmel, I think, too.
And he was promoting it, and we were waiting for the last episode of Sugar.
Yeah, we're like, hey, well, that's right, Bodkin.
Let's try this out.
Yeah.
So now what? We're 2 episodes in?
Yeah. Well, actually,
like
I think
one and a half.
we only watched the first one. We started the second. But yeah, he's a podcaster, and he goes to Ireland, and he's met up with this private or investigative journalist. And they're trying to solve, 25 years earlier, 3 people went missing at a festival. And so they're there to sort of like sort of do a podcast about it, but then the investigative journalist actually wants to solve it. And so Will Forte is going, wait, hold on. We just wanted to talk about it. I didn't realize I was going to be a detective. And it's getting into it. So it's weird because it almost feels like you need to know a little bit about Irish lore or something, because or inside jokes, they have a little bit about it. But it's kind of funny because the whole running gag is like, oh, you're doing a podcast, are you? People watch those.
Yeah, people listen to those.
They listen to those, don't they?
Yeah.
Like everybody says that.
Yes.
Oh, people listen to those.
Yeah.
And it is pretty funny.
You
it's
say
cute.
that. I didn't feel like I missed, I don't know, maybe I wasn't paying attention well enough I didn't think it was overly, ununderstandable to Irishy.
I don't know. It just kind of felt like it had that sort of flavor to it.
But maybe they'll, teach us some Irish stuff.
Well, I'll talk about it in the morning and tell you.
I mean...
I don't know.
I'm
horrible.
Yeah, so I think you're great. I think you do, a really good job.
Thank you, Lottie.
I thought this guy's funny. I think he's funny. I loved his interview.
Yeah.
I thought he was,
Forte's awesome. I love him.
He's charming. He's funny. And I think the show is funny.
And he's especially funny. There's a movie called The Watch. I don't know if you remember that with Ben Stiller and Vince Vaughn and Jonah Hill. And they're the neighborhood watch because they think the neighborhood.
Oh, yeah. I remember that. Yes.
And he plays the cop. He plays a police officer who's sort of kind of messes around with Ben Stiller and Vince Vaughn, it's his voice and the way he talks is just funny to me.
Yeah,
and in that movie, he's especially funny.
Yeah. Okay, and then
another one we started on Apple. Bodkin, by the way, is on Netflix.
Okay.
On Apple, DarkMatter. Man, this show is pretty trippy.
Yeah, I don't really know exactly what's going on yet. With it.
Yes. Well, you're right about that. This show stars Joel Edgerton and Jennifer Connelly. Joel Edgerton, a lot of people might not really... He's got a very familiar look. In fact, you don't remember the Smoking Aces movie. He was one of the assassins in it, and there was a scene where he just finished dipping someone's head in acid or something. He's really weird, and he puts on different disguises.
Oh.
I don't know if you remember, he was an assassin when he got called out. He was in a paraplegic in a wheelchair, and all of a sudden he busts up and shoots this guy, and then puts on dreads, and then gets off in an ambulance or something like that.
Wow.
That was his character in this movie, and I remember he's just very weird, and then I was like, oh yeah, that is the guy. But he plays the main character. Sorry to go off on a tangent. Jennifer Connelly plays his wife, and he goes to long story short, he goes to a bar one night and doesn't come home. He gets attacked by this person who drugs him, and when he wakes up, he's in a different reality, different world, and you find out that whoever it was that drugged him took over his life, which just happens to be him.
Yeah.
And so it's
It's so confusing, though, about what's going on.
He plays this scientist who deals with quantum mechanics and physics and otherworldly bloopity-bloops that, all make sense when people say it in their scientific words on the show. Uh-huh. The quantum leverage totally underestimated the quantum mechanics of the aluminum combustion.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, of course. I have no idea what that even means, and it means gibberish, really, because that doesn't mean anything.
Right.
But they talk about somehow this guy created something where he can create this alternate world, in some state of whatever.
We still haven't been told exactly what's going on.
But what's happened right now is the main character swapped into the other character's life. And
who's the same person, but on a different time vortex.
And his wife is now an old friend, and it came from the spot in time where he was given a choice, and that branched out into different life, so to speak. And so this bad person was able to grab different timelines and switched it with them. We're on the third episode. Yeah. We're trying to figure it out. It's like watching Inception before you've seen it and trying to figure it out.
Right. It's a lot like that.
Yeah. So, but it's a mind-bending mystery. Yeah. And it is pretty good so far. And it is, they air new episodes every Wednesdays. So right now, episode 4 will be airing this Wednesday. So they only have 3 available to watch right now.
So it's super current.
We're on the third one, right? I think we're on the third. We stopped by halfway.
Sleepy.
Yeah. It's good.
And
I kind of am more interested in that over Bodkin right now, but I do like both of them. But I like how this DarkMatter is very intriguing.
Yeah, but I do want to get back on Bodkin. I'm
I do.
Come on,
I like the
go,
lighter side
laugh
of things
it out.
Too. Yeah,
laugh it out.
Laughing out.
And whoa. That like echoed down the
did.
street.
Hello. It's awesome.
All right, babe. As we go out.
Yep, we're going to go out as we go out.
As we go out, you're going to be playing one of the songs from Sublime. And we are going to Sublime.
Sublime with Rome.
With Rome in what, September? I think so.
Yes. Right after Labor Day weekend at Billy Bob's.
Yeah.
Sublime will be playing.
That's
We's
our
be going.
4-year wedding anniversary.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep, we're going to go see Sublime with Rome. And I had heard, I don't know if this is a rumor I should even say, but there might possibly have Bradley back playing. I'm sorry, Bradley back.
Oh my gosh, from the dead.
That would be strange.
Yeah.
Bradley's son.
So
playing with Sublime.
Wow.
Yeah, so that may actually be a possibility coming out here too.
Wow.
But yeah, this is a new song from, excuse me, from Sublime with Rome, and it comes off their new album, which was just released earlier this month on May 10th.
Yeah, they've got a good. I mean, I think it's good.
It's good. This album is kind of like quick to the point. It's 10 songs, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
But it's got a lot of good, catchy songs. Some good hooks and whatnot.
Totally.
This song here, it's track 4. It's called All I Need, and I thought that this is probably one of the better ones. I don't know. You guys be the judge.
Yeah, and I like the what is it? The animation. The cover of the sun.
Yeah.
It kind of looks similar to.
Oh, here we go once again. Damn it! No one cares about the Mets.
It looks similar to their old school cover.
Yeah, no, it does. It does. I like how they keep the kind of roots on there, you know.
Yeah.
But this is called All I Need, people. Hope you guys enjoy. Have a great rest of your week. And have fun out there. Memorial Day is coming up.
Yes, we love you. Don't do drugs.
Don't do drugs. Later.